Hey you guys, how y'all doing today? It's LightningSnow back today with another video, and today I told y'all I was doing a what if video, and so today we're doing something a little different, and it's actually a pretty interesting one that I had just thought of last week. I thought it'd be an interesting one to do, and today with me to help me do this video, I got my partner in crime, Kyle Kenny. Say everybody.
Hey guys, back for another one.
So today, obviously, we're talking about the Sasuke Retrieval Arc. So I haven't really seen this topic really being brought up a lot, and I think it's a topic that's pretty interesting because Gaara is someone that is very, I wouldn't say he slept on, especially at this point, but I think he's definitely someone that could go toe to toe with just most of the part 1 cast. And so I think it's an interesting idea for him to go up against this Sasuke and the Sasuke Retrieval Arc. So obviously we're talking about what if Gaara had caught up to Sasuke and the Sasuke Retrieval Arc. So we're doing two scenarios real quick. This won't be a long video. But the first scenario is what if he had caught up to him sooner than at the final valley. So let's say he caught up to him, and we're excluding Kimimaro from this. I know, just for the sake of simplicity, let's just pretend like the Kimimaro situation doesn't exist. We're just kind of going off of it as a typical kind of hypothetical versus battle video. So he catches up to him in an area that's similar to where he fought Kimimaro. And we're doing this because there's a difference in layout in the battlefield from that place to the final valley. Kenny, you want to go off of the differences between them? If they don't know, or they can't already guess?
Alright, so for everybody that doesn't remember, during the fight with Kimimaro, Gaara had access to a stupid amount of sand. Versus the first fight he had with Sasuke whenever he was limited to basically just the gourd.
Mm-hmm.
So what this gives us is a sand tsunami that can literally wipe out a forest.
Yep. I mean, they hit you literally.
And that would go to all abilities. So he's got the sand burial, sand coffin, everything's got more defense.
Mm-hmm.
He can defend while he attacks.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of being isolated to just defending, which was the problem he had with Sasuke during the tuning exams.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was limited to the gourd, he could only attack or defend, not both.
Well, technically, he did have sand on the ground. I just don't know why he just didn't do it. I don't know if that's something he just didn't know how to do yet, or...
You know, he might not have been skilled enough at the time to control both.
Yeah, not that it's important now. I digress about that, but I thought it was actually kind of interesting now that I think about it. But yeah, and then it also the two biggest things that he has is freaking the sand tsunami, which is literally making a giant ocean of sand around this entire field. And not only that, but like you said, he's able to defend and attack at the same time. One of the things he was able to do was defend against Kimimaru's giant bone attack, but right after he tried to attack him, he sunk Kimimaro underneath all that sand. And Gaara's words were, "Under so much pressure, you won't be able to move a finger." It's can you imagine?
And on that note, this is even crazier with the whole should be paralyzed sickness, that he could still work under that pressure.
Oh, I know.
Now, the difference we have between Kimimaro and Sasuke for that, though, Kimimaro survived by going into Curse Mark Stage 2, and I would say his durability was already higher because of the bone jutsu.
Yeah. Whereas this Sasuke...
So Sasuke wouldn't have the durability to survive that.
No, absolutely not. And like I said, the reason why we did this scenario is because... So we'll wrap up this scenario real quick, because again, even if we give Sasuke Curse Mark 2, I just don't see Sasuke really being able to do much. We were trying to think of what Sasuke could actually do, but
it might be different if he had the control over the Dijori that he has in Shippuden, but with just Chidori being close range, he's not able to close the gap between him and Gaara to really do anything.
Yeah. And
he's not like Kimimaro, where he, has the bone field and he can dash in and out of bones to close the gap.
Yeah.
And fire style ain't doing shit.
Yeah. And I mean,
it's not gonna do nothing.
Yeah. And just the Shukaku shield that he had against Kimimaru's giant bone attack. I mean, I know Chidori's strong, and yeah, it might be able to get through that to some extent, but Gaara still has all that sand around him that he can use. And I mean, the only thing I could really remotely give Sasuke is Gaara's chakra reserves, because that fight against Kimimaro didn't last super long, and I want to say that after the Shukaku shield feat, he was mentioning something about how he was starting to run low on chakra. So I mean, depending on how long, or I mean, if Sasuke can survive this long, again, we're giving Sasuke some big benefit of the doubt here and saying that he'd be able to survive pre-Curse Mark 2. In my own opinion, I think he'd have to go straight to Curse Mark 2 to even survive against Gaara.
Yeah.
Because I just can't see based even Curse Mark 1 doing anything. Even with the 3 Tomoe Sharingan, like, I know he'd be able to react, you know.
I mean, he shouldn't have any problem seeing that tsunami with or without it.
Yeah, exactly. And like, and again, and I brought this up to Kenny, it'd be the exact same thing as like what happened with Sasuke and Rock Lee at the beginning of the series, where like Sasuke could see the attacks happening, but his body would not be quick enough to react. Now I know this Sasuke is a little bit quicker now, but against a giant sand tsunami and all the large scale sand attacks Gaara was throwing at Kimimaro at, like Gaara
and I think his sand was actually faster during the Kimimaro fight than it was during the tuning exams.
Yeah, because like what is it? Kimimaro said, "That's the last time I'm gonna get caught in your sand," and literally Gaara launches a sand tsunami and traps him like within 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So, like I'm not trying to sleep on Sasuke at all, but like this Gaara is ridiculous by this point in the series. So,
and like we said, it's not Gaara himself as much as the environment plays a huge role in how strong Gaara is.
Yeah. So
just like if you're using water style and don't have water, you can't do as much.
Yeah, I mean you can still launch jutsu like that, but like it's going to be a lot harder to do that. So
it's going to use more chakra. It won't be as large scale.
You know, in a good reference to that is, let's say, like just to use an example real quick, Sasuke's fight with Itachi when he used Kirin, like he created that rainstorm or thunderstorm specifically to draw the lightning from that storm, so he didn't have to use any more chakra unnecessarily to use Kirin. So it's the exact same thing. So in this case, Gaara doesn't have to use so much chakra, I guess, or so much chakra in the sand of his gourd when he can just use the sand as the environment weapon, I guess. So
I mean, unless I'm saying this wrong, doesn't the gourd automatically protect him anyways?
Yeah, it seems as
I know it was doing the tuning exams, but I don't know if that stopped.
Yeah, no, not to my knowledge, it didn't. It's still the Shukaku.
Yeah, so I mean, if the gourd sand is still focused on protecting him, then he can literally use the environment strictly for attacking.
Yeah,
and he's got almost nothing to worry about.
Yeah. So okay, so 1 to 10 in that scenario, I'd say Gaara takes it. I would say 9. I'm wanting to say 10 out of 10 because I just can't see anything. But I mean, I will say though, if Sasuke's quick enough with the
if Sasuke hits him with a CS2 Chidori,
he's done.
You know it's done. So I kind of agree with the 9 thing, just because there is that possibility.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the only thing that might be even remotely...
But let's say he could fly over the tsunami and get the drop on him.
Then
it's kind of a what if.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing too. We kind of like we weren't, because like I this is kind of given, like I don't know if this is reaching a little bit and the unfairness to Sasuke's part, but Sasuke hadn't really been used to using the wings a whole lot, so I don't want to say it. He could just automatically know how to use the wings and be used to flying or whatever. So I mean, maybe if we're being generous to Sasuke, maybe he can just pick it up like right then. I mean, he is a genius, so like maybe he can just pick up how to fly like just like that. But
yeah, kind of like I mentioned you when we were talking about it earlier, Dalton. It's like if we want to get technical, he probably wouldn't have awakened any of the abilities in the first place, because what awakened the Sharingan, what awakened the Curse Mark 2 was that rivalry with Naruto.
Yeah.
So I mean, if he just caught up to him, he probably wouldn't even reach those stages.
That's true. Yeah. If we're doing this in the situational time that it was in, yeah, that's true. He didn't even have 3 Tomoe. But like I said,
so he probably wouldn't even awakened it in time to fight back.
Yeah. So we're being generous to Sasuke, y'all.
And he still only gets 1 out of 10.
Yeah. So let's go on to the no sand. Let's say if he caught up to him around at the final valley. And again, this is because I guess someone somewhere will make a case that there is sand that Gaara can use, which I'm not knocking it, but just for the sake of fairness, we'll say that this is an area where like there's not a
sand
whole
is
lot.
Limited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure there's got to be some amount, but for the most part, I only see rocks.
Yeah. Like the environment around the Final Valley is not somewhere where you would see a whole lot of sand. So we'll give it to like I guess we can give Gaara just a little bit more sand than he's got in his gourd, I guess, but that's about it. So in this scenario, it's obviously a little bit tougher for Gaara, but I still think, in my own opinion, Gaara has it until Sasuke whips out the CM2, and then it becomes a bit more tricky. I don't really know how to gauge.
At this point, I think the chakra limitations would become a problem for
fact.
Gaara.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he can't just do the one shot quick kill like he did before.
Yeah, and that's another thing too. We actually brought this up too. It also depends on if Gaara's going in with killer intent too, because technically this is a mission. Like they're supposed to bring Sasuke back.
It would definitely be a lot harder for Gaara to just
try to capture,
keep him alive.
Yeah,
yeah, because he's not too good on the alive thing.
Yeah, and like I mean, Sasuke at this point is not really reserved on killing people if it means getting to Orochimaru. So, or at least that's how it seems. I know he second guessed himself with Naruto's case, but I think with Gaara, I don't think he'd have much of a problem. It just really depends.
I'm personally under the assumption that even if it is a mission, I think Gaara's gonna be like, okay, if I can't take him alive, I'm just gonna kill him. It was an accident.
Yeah, cause imagine going.
But I mean, there's always the option of the sand coffin, and just break his arms, break his legs, and then Naruto drags him back.
You know what? It's funny because Naruto was already wanting to do that anyway. He was like, "I'm gonna have to break every bone."
That.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to break every bone in your body to bring it. That's actually, I mean, because I wouldn't be surprised because Gaara can control how much force he puts into an attack, so he could minimize some damage to where like he just breaks.
He just pinches his fingers instead of his full hand.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't even think about that. That's true. I don't know why I was just like thinking that. But the other thing too that we thought though is that like if Gaara,
well, we never really seen him control the pressure. It was always like whatever he did with it at that point in time, he was just taking it out.
Yeah, he was already immediately crushing people to death. He didn't really even care.
Yeah, he wasn't trying to minimize the damage.
Yeah. So that's also something that could work. But we also brought this up earlier is that like if Gaara tries to do the Gaara thing, like have him in the sand coffin and try to just maybe either one, keep him there, or two, like break some bone. Like I wonder if one or two things could happen. One, the wings could, like if he transformed to the Curse Mark II state, if the wings would bust him out, or the Chidori, since it's Earth style ish kind of thing. I wonder if the Chidori would be able to break through the sand coffin.
I'm pretty sure it said that the sand is weak to the lightning style.
Mm-hmm.
The affinity thing should be a helpful, but
yeah,
it's still going to be a.
It just
is it enough?
Gaara would have to like either one like separate his hands or two like crush his arms, because like I wanted to say at first that Sasuke wouldn't be able to use any hand signs, but then Naruto was able to do it whenever he was getting engulfed in the sand coffin to summon Gamabunta. So like
that's just plot armor though.
I know, but I know someone in the comments will probably make a case of that and be like, well, Naruto was able to do it too. So
my man Sasuke only needs one hand for hand signs, and
does he?
He does if he has another hand to use.
Oh yeah. I know. Okay. I didn't remember what you're talking about there. Yeah, I remember that now. So
the biggest slap in the face Naruto has ever had.
I know, that was actually pretty. He got slapped.
He even looked confused as to what was happening.
I would too. I was like, wait, did you just use that?
Is this guy using my own hand?
So I think this is actually more situational than I thought, and we haven't even discussed the possibility if push came to shove that Gaara might be like not tempted, I guess, but he might lose control and it ends up going into the one tail. Like the Shukaku.
At that point, it's not even a conversation.
Yeah, I'm about to say,
everyone's dead.
Yeah, I mean, Naruto's gonna see that from like 10, 25 miles, 30 miles away, chasing Sasuke, and be like, oh my god. But assuming that it doesn't get to that point, because Gaara does seem a little more control. So assuming it doesn't get to that point, like I still think Gaara takes base to CM1, but then CM2 is.
I think it's CM2. I give it to Sasuke.
You think so?
Yeah, and I'm leaning not heavy, but I'm thinking 6 to 7 out of 10.
I can agree with that.
I think he would have the speed to avoid the amount of sand Gaara would have, since he would need to keep some in reserve for protection purposes.
Yeah, I could agree.
Even the protection though, at the speed he'd have in CM2 with Chidori, I don't think Gaara could really block the strike, because even at Chunin level exams, Sasuke could pierce it.
Yeah, I mean,
which was drastically lower than where he's at now.
Yeah, and I mean, Kimimaro at one point was able to speed blitz Gaara. So
yeah. So I would say if he doesn't have access to this crazy amount of sand, CM2 takes it at I'd say 7 out of 10.
Yeah, Gaara would have to be quick, but to get him in the sand coffin and crush his arms. Like that, I'm not even being funny. Like I think that's exactly what
he has to take him before CM2.
Yeah,
he has to.
Yeah. I can agree with you. I think he takes if Sasuke before he gets to base to CM1, I think Gaara takes it like 9. I'd say 9, maybe 10 out of 10. But CN2 becomes a different story. I think you're right. 6 out of 10.
Yeah, and for quick power scaling, for anybody that doesn't remember, Gaara beat Kimimaro. Kimimaro could handle all of the Sound 4 simultaneously. The Sound 4 beat 2 Jonin.
Honor guards of the 4th Hokage, by the way.
Yeah. So I mean, he was a monster.
Yeah. So yeah.
I think he beat the Sound 4 in base.
He did. Yeah. So
that's not even curse marked.
Yeah. Now, whether you want to say they were holding back, it doesn't matter. It's still very impressive that he went toe to toe, because he just got done fighting Naruto not too long after. So I think it's very impressive that he did that well against them, even in base, even at that point. So yeah, that's gonna do it for us, guys. I know this is like a random video, but I wanted to just get one out. I haven't done a what if in a while. I think this was I know it was kind of a versus battle video, but I wanted to do it in the context of a what if. So thank you, Kyle Kenny, for being on this awesome video for me.
I really enjoyed this one. I'm glad I could be on for another.
He will be on the next one, guys. Yo, LightningSnow out.